Please ignore any in the background. People like to walk into my room and make noise. I don't get any privacy in my home. Keep that in mind. I get smells next to my bed. I get messes, and I just put up with it. Sometimes I have to deal with all different types of things, and that's part of my Christian duty and how I give back. I deal with the things that society does not want to deal with. And these are the type I get rid of beehives, cigarette butts, I clean up messes outside, I sweep. I've even taken care of a lot of different types of messes. Outside, inside, other people's messes, hallway, doesn't matter. If it needs to be done, I do it. That's how I tell you. If it's hard, I do it hard. If it's easy, I do it easy. If I get paid, great. If I don't get paid, fine. Doesn't matter. As long as I'm getting done what needs to be done in society. My health is my main concern. I make sure that my health all gets done to the best of my ability till there's nothing more to do. If I have to wait, then I have to wait. I can still make phone calls every day. I can still try to add on doctors. I can still go to the emergency room. But in between that, I have to work. I have to take care of my roommate. I take care of a cat. I take care of the property I live in. But like I said, what comes first is taking care of my health. But making a difference in society is important. And we all need to be caring about one another and working together and loving one another. Because like I said, when you have 10 people in general and 9 people want to act selfish and don't care about what their actions cause or what their words cause, then you have a breakdown in society. If we're all divided, then the people that are working together, they're going to get everything. And right now, we got the really rich, the pharmaceutical companies, and the corporations working together. Meanwhile, everybody else is at each other's throats, picking each other apart. If I have a seizure at a shelter and another homeless person finds me on the side of the road, you think they're getting me an ambulance? No, they're not. Because they're going to worry about themselves. They're going to say, I have this to get, I have this to get, I have this to get, and I have this to get. They're going to go in my pocket, take my wallet, and they're going to walk away without calling me an ambulance or getting me help. Why is that? Because society is broken. Their needs aren't being met, and nobody's working with them, so why should they work with me? Why should they get me help? Nobody's helping them, so why they should help me? And this is the mentality in society. Nobody's going to help me, so why should I help them? That's the wrong mindset. We all are going to need something eventually. We all have our crosses to bear. And sometimes we need society to work together. We wouldn't have buildings. We wouldn't have medical care. We wouldn't have the great leaps in technology we have today if we didn't work together. One idea from one person is not enough. You need all of society to be working like an oiled machine. And if we're all worrying about ourselves, thinking how can we make a come up and how can we keep our stuff, how can we not take responsibility for our actions, how can we not pay the cost of something we did, if that's your mentality, then society starts breaking down when it spreads. And that's the problem. It's spread all over the place. Everybody's needing something. Everybody is self-centered. Nobody cares about anything but their own property or their own little apartment or their own thing. And anything communal, anything that is a society or a group as togetherness, nobody wants to do anymore. They don't want to work together. No. And it's really common. It's really, really common, especially with the older folks. There are several, though, older folks that still have this religious. It's mostly people who are super religious. A good sign is people who are wearing religious gear like crosses. That's a good start. But some people wear the cross, but then they don't follow the beliefs that go with it. They don't believe in forgiveness, turning the other cheek. They act vindictive, hateful. They make hurtful statements. They do all different types of bad deeds. They act selfish, greedy. Um, they spread stories and rumors that get other people hurt. All different types of things. And this is just examples of my father and some of his wives. I mean, there's other older people I've seen this from, and I've seen a lot of it from younger people too. But then I see a lot of these super young generation, 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds, that are now these hippie mindset. Oh, we need to change. We need to save the environment. We need to work together. No, love and peace. There's even a mushroom movement to try to help people with PTSD, depression, and the whole reason why mushrooms are illegal in the first place are because they'll wake you up. They'll wake you up to war, destruction, and selfish behaviors. They'll make you process your past. If they're done properly, they can be helpful. But I see a lot of this in society, and people need to look into themselves and move forward. They do. We're acting hateful, selfish. There's all these behaviors going on, and then they think they're good people. They think that God's going to accept them. They go, "Oh, well, I'm a good person. God's going to accept me." Well, you've crippled a child. You're ignoring everything he's saying. You've destroyed somebody's life. You're vacationing while the other person's in the hospital getting stabbed for your actions. I'm not quite sure that, because God sees all point of views. God sees your point of view, but God also sees the other point of views. He sees what happens to everybody. So I'm not quite sure if that's the case. I've made actions that have made other people suffer. I put myself in other people's shoes, and I've seen that I've accidentally caused problems, sometimes on purpose at childhood, but in the last 15 years or so, or actually we'll say 12 years, 11 years, maybe something closer to that, I've just made mistakes on accident. Other than related to drug addiction, that's about it. And I've always, even from the age of 5, I just wanted to help people have a home and a family and do what I was told. But doing what I was told is a big mistake. You have to listen to your own heart and do what's right, no matter what the consequences, and that's the problem. There are consequences for doing the right thing. There is. People don't realize that. Doing good sometimes has consequences for yourself. If you take the day off from work and you go volunteer your time to the shelter, and you volunteer your time to the homeless, and you go to the sick people in the hospitals, like people who are dying, and listen to them and give them company, you're losing a day's wages. You might have consequences like losing your apartment. You might not be able to pay for your heat, all because you volunteered your time to the needy. So doing good does not mean that there's no consequences to your actions. But there's also doing bad. There's people who don't want to pay their consequences for their actions, so they do bad choices. They make bad choices that hurt other people because they don't want to pay. They don't want to take responsibility for their actions. And I see that a lot. It's the cause of a lot of issues in life, and it's something that I do not contribute to. Instead, I pay the consequences for doing the right thing. And even if there's somebody else making the bad choices, getting somebody else hurt, well, that's their choice. You can't stop people from making bad choices. You can try to wake them up to it, but that's about it. You can just wake people up, show them the right way by example, maybe by your words, and then you can just do that. You can do good yourself. There's no reason why. If somebody tries to hurt you, that doesn't mean that you have to then turn evil and hurt them. There's no reason to do that. Absolutely not. You don't have to change yourself because somebody else made a bad decision. Two wrongs do not make a right. Like, I'll give you an example. My father took everything I owned, including my kids' inheritance, and threw it in a dumpster. And he did this before, too. They were taking my hard-earned swimming medals. They were taking my boots, my claret. There's many, many examples of times they took stuff from me. Does that mean it's okay for me to take from them? Absolutely not. There's no reason why I should have that same behavior. Just because somebody wants to take my health and everything I own away from me, and they want to take my future away from me, does not mean that I have a right to do anything back. It means I should just be a good person. I should be extra supportive. I should be extra supportive, and I should try my best to wake them up to what's going on and hope that they eventually wake up to it. Basically, kill them with kindness is my method. When somebody's acting evil or hurtful, you kill them with kindness. You show them the God's light, and that's all I do. Somebody tries to stab me or rob me, I kill them with kindness and ask them, why do you want my money? Is there something, Well, I need drugs. Okay, here we go. Let's go get you your drugs. And then as I'm getting you your drugs, I'm going to explain about how rehabs work and how that they can actually detox you, or how there's ways to detox yourself, or maybe I tell them about natural medicines that might help them. I kill them with kindness, so maybe they don't rob the next person. I obviously they need to get the money, but maybe I can help them as giving them the money. And that's just my method. Kill them with kindness.